hauler rollers thrum under load tests, and salt spray beads on gloves at dawn quietly. Paper charts mark a cold North Pacific corridor, and diesel hum steadies the plan today. Bait is pinned tight onto a circle hook, and fingers check the barb path carefully.
The long line slips into black water, and suspended hooks vanish into silted current. One hook fills the frame, and the bait trembles as current shifts in silence.
A buoy kisses the surface, and rope angle tightens beside steel with wave slap.
A frayed leader section is swapped fast, and metal clicks confirm a secure connection.
Current reverses at depth, and baits rotate slowly as tension pulses once then stops.
A pencil log notes octopus feeding windows, and the engine tone stays even. Hooks cycle from rack to sea, and deck noise becomes a steady industrial rhythm.
A wider string of hooks hangs in darkness, and fine sediment drifts like snowfall.
A line snap whips past, and two men step back into safe lanes without panic.
A bait shows fresh scrape marks, and the leader shivers briefly before going slack.
Deck is cleared and clipped down, and wind rises against rain gear with rigging clank. Analog needles fall, and the captain watches a shrinking weather window without changing course. Buoy line sinks deeper, and light fades as the rig settles into cold pressure. A quiet pause holds on deck, and only diesel and wave slap fill the air. The buoy quivers beside the hull, and rope fibers tighten with a faint squeal.
At depth, a giant octopus reaches in, and the circle hook catches at the beak.
On the surface, the buoy line angles hard, and water pops against the rail.
A short command cuts through wind, and gloves move to the hauler controls fast. Tension builds in pulses, and the line squeals as suction force drags against current. The hauler turns steadily, and coils jump as the crew times each pull to the swell.
A violent underwater surge snaps slack away, and the leader is kept straight to hold the hook.
Deck voices rise, and a second man clears hooks while the leader is walked forward.
The line loads up again, and metal vibrates as something heavy refuses to lift.
Underwater, arms coil around the line, and suckers ripple as the octopus tries to anchor.
A controlled lift breaks the hold, and the leader comes up, hand over hand.
Nearer the surface, bubbles stream, and the octopus mantle flashes before pulling down again.
Spray erupts beside steel, and a dark armed tip slaps the surface for the first time.
The leader rises faster now, and suction pulses telegraph a heavy animal still fighting below.
Underwater, the octopus spreads wide, arms streaming as it tries to pin the line to rock.
A second buoy shivers nearby, hinting another bite as the first fight keeps pulling time. One man clears hooks off the rail, and another keeps the leader straight to protect the seat.
The mantle flashes closer, then drops, and the hauler feeds line smoothly to avoid slack. A violent torque hits the line, and the octopus spins, but the hook stays locked at the beak.
Deck water runs to scuppers, and boots reposition as the leader comes within reach. A single arm tip appears again, suckers glistening, then vanishes under foam beside steel.
The octopus surface is broader now, and a control pole keeps arms from wrapping the rail.
Underwater, the mantle compresses and jets, but suction fails as the line lifts away from the bottom.
Arms slap the deck lane, and two men pin the leader while the mantle heaves hard.
A stainless bin is dragged close, and flake ice is shoveled fast to cool the catch. The hook backs out clean, and the octopus is guided into ice while arms still move. A new leader comes up already loaded, and the crew switches focus without slowing the hauler.
Underwater, a second octopus grabs bait, and the circle hook catches at the beak decisively.
The buoy line snaps tight again, and spray hides the surface as tension keeps climbing. A massive arm spreads across the surface, and suction pops echo as it tries to latch to steel.
Poles push the arm away, and the leader is walked forward to prevent a wrap. The mantle rolls beside the hull, and a timed lift brings the animal into the landing lane. Ice takes the weight, and arms keep flexing while the next leader rises behind it.
Another hook comes up scraped, showing how often bait get tested before a full commit.
The captain notes haul times in pencil, keeping totals steady as weather presses the deck.
A third octopus hits the rail, arms whipping fast as the leader is pinned to stop wrapping.
Dehooking finishes cleanly, and the animal is guided into ice without tearing suction cups.
Deck wash clears slime and seawater, keeping footing safe around the hauler and racks.
A quieter pull follows, and diesel hum returns as the line segment resets forward. Leaders are checked for chafe, and hardware swaps happen fast before another heavy bite arrives. The last buoy lifts tight, and rope fibers sing as the crew braces for one more surge. A brawl mantle shadow rolls under foam, then pulls down as the leader tightens again. One coordinated lift shortens the leader, and the octopus is guided cleanly into the lane.
A restrained cheer breaks out, and the final giant octopus is secured in ice as the deck steadies.
The vessel docks, and iced bins of whole octopus transfer ashore without branding or readable marks.
A quick weigh and grade sorts lots by size and condition, using plain slips without readable text. Forklifts roll bins into a cold receiving bay, and the handoff stays clean and fast. Core temperature is checked with analog tools. Then the octopus is rinsed to remove surface slime.
Pre-trim clears debris and damaged tips, preparing clean cuts before separation begins on the line.
The head and mantle are separated cleanly, keeping motions fast and avoiding any gore emphasis.
The cavity is opened and cleaned, removing ink sac and organs in a sterile, controllable rhythm.
The beak is removed precisely, and remaining connective tissue is trimmed to standardize each lot.
Arms are separated into primary sections, and the flesh shows firm, white octopus texture beneath suction rows.
Skin is peeled or blanched off, leaving clean white flesh, while suction cups remain intact. Suckers are inspected and cleaned, and tools remove grit without shredding the outer membrane.
Trim stations remove connective tissue and uneven edges, keeping consistent portion shapes for buyers.
Prime cuts are sorted into arm sections and mantle portions, sized to standard wholesale specs. Portions are cut to even lengths, and each tray is weighed quickly while cold air holds texture. A chilled rinse and drip rack removes surface moisture, leaving a clean sheen under white lights.
QC checks color, firmness, and odor, rejecting defects and reserving premium lots for higher value.
Mechanical scales confirm weight and thickness, and trays are grouped quietly for the next batch step. Plain batch tags are applied without readable codes, keeping internal trace simple and discreet. Finished trays stack onto stainless racks, staged by lot for packaging flow. Final trim squares the ends, producing clean commercial shapes without fraying the outer membrane.
Gloves change, sanitizer sprays, and the line keeps moving under strict hygiene pace.
Orders are grouped by buyer type, and racks are staged for sealing in sequence. Premium octopus portions sit ready, showing clean white texture with no mixed species present.
Vacuum seals close on plain bags, removing air while avoiding readable labels entirely. Glazing mist coats the sealed packs, forming a thin, protective ice layer quickly. Racks enter the blast freezer, and cold fog spills out as doors close.
Inside, racks are staged FIFO, keeping lots organized without visible digital displays.
Plain cartons stack onto pallets, wrapped tight in film with no exposed branding. At the loading dock, pallets roll into a reefer, and doors seal for transport.
Cold air circulates around pallets inside the reefer, holding temperature steady through road vibration. A cold warehouse receives the load, and pallets stage in silent rows under frost.
A local delivery is checked quickly, and plain cartons move into a clean prep corridor. Final cold staging holds packs firm, preserving texture until a kitchen break in the chain.
Plain packs open on stainless, and octopus portions temper briefly under strict cleanliness and cold air. A gentle simmer tenderizes, and steam rises as timers stay off camera and unbranded.
Tentacles hit a hot grill, and char lines form while the center stays firm and moist.
A simple seasoning finishes the plate, keeping the focus on texture and clean, briny flavor.
A quiet table reaction follows, linking deep water effort to an ordinary meal without spectacle.
Remaining portions return to cold storage, keeping handling brief and surfaces clean and uncluttered. The chain closes, from pressure and suction at depth to clean service under warm lights.
In the mess hall, tired fishermen eat quietly, and diesel hum replaces the earlier chaos.
On deck, coffee cups steam, and wind snaps rain gear as the ocean steadies again. In the wheelhouse, the captain circles a new track on paper charts and notes conditions. Gear is stowed neatly, mainline coils stack, and the hauler gets a final check.
The wake stretches behind steel, and spray fills the frame like a moving curtain. The final logbook line reads, "Next run," and the engine note carries the story forward.